Part 2. Verdant Wind. Heartstring Moon. The Golden Scheme. Claude leverages his victory at the Battle of Granda to secure reinforcements from Alliance lords. Meanwhile, the Imperial Army continues to tighten its defenses at Fort Mercius in anticipation of an attack on the Imperial capital.
Professor, thank you for helping me with my training. I'd love to do this again if possible. Your advice is always so useful. Everyone thinks you're a wonderful teacher. You account for people's weaknesses while capitalizing on their strengths. Initially, I wasn't sure you paid too much attention to your students. Clearly, I was wrong. After all, were that the case, you wouldn't be capable of providing such useful feedback. I'll continue to learn and grow from your instruction, Professor. I just know it. You think I'm determined? Professor, thank you. You're the only one who's ever praised me like that. I mean, people are always telling me I've got a knack for magic. If you can call the power of my crest a knack, they aren't wrong per se. Though bearing 2 crests isn't a gift I ever asked for. Anyhow, I've made a point to work harder than most and not rely too heavily on the power they bestow. So I find it frustrating that the only praise I seem to receive is directly related to that power. If you've noticed how hard I work, then well, it makes me very happy. Well, you see, it is because I am the only child of House Ordelia. I must do all I can for my family name. I'm determined to someday be of real value to them, and that day must come soon. I can't waste any time. I don't have much of it left. Anyway, I should be going. Thank you again for your help.
Our objective is Enbar, the Imperial capital, but our greatest obstacle lies before that.
And what's that?
Fort Mercius. If we can't pass through, we won't be able to reach Enbar.
Fort Mercius, the impregnable fortress, or so it's called.
If I recall correctly, it's sometimes referred to as the Stubborn Old General.
It is a massive fortress that was constructed to protect the Imperial capital.
The Imperial army we defeated has withdrawn to Enbar. Fort Mercius should be short on soldiers for now.
It would be best to take it before enemy reinforcements arrive. Still, there's a reason it's been called impregnable. The only real question is what our fearless leader intends to do.
Sorry for the delay, everyone. Those mewling lords kept me from leaving for quite some time.
So, were you able to secure additional reinforcements?
It's gonna have to wait until next month. It doesn't look like they can afford to keep supporting us at present.
Then what should we do about Fort Mercius? Do you plan on waiting around?
No, if we wait until next month, the enemy will have bolstered their defenses. That said, the prevailing theory is that you need triple your enemy's forces to take a fortress with a frontal assault.
Right. That's what we were taught at the academy. And this is Fort Mercius we're talking about. It's renowned for its strong defenses.
Our current army isn't nearly strong enough. What to do?
Whatever you do, just don't ask us to scale those huge walls. We'd end up dead when they hurl rocks down at us.
Yeah, no thanks. If only someone would open up the gates for us from the inside.
Unfortunately, we don't have any spies in there. Wait a minute. I've got it. We sneak in, stir up confusion, and open the gates ourselves to let our allies in.
Right, that's what I was saying all along.
Right, nice one, Hilda. But how do you propose we go about sneaking in?
Disguises? If we dress up like Imperial soldiers, maybe they'll think we're allies and let us in.
Do you really think they'd just open the gates for us? I'd be pretty dumbfounded if that worked.
No, she's on to something. It's a good idea, Hilda. We just need to refine it a bit, and we'll be in there before we know it.
Really? Go me!
What is your definition of refining the idea? I know your go-to strategy is nausea-inducing poison, but...
Oh, I maybe ate too much. My stomach hurts.
Raphael, why are you eating meat during a war council?
So, fearless leader, I'm guessing you're going to keep the crucial parts of your scheme under wraps until the time comes, aren't you?
You know me so well, Judith. Whether we like it or not, this war puts a damper on all of our spirits. What's wrong with trying to have a little fun every now and again? Just leave the details to me.
It's been 10 years. Can I move on yet? Never mind. I know what you'd say. In a sense, someone who's long since passed. Another mercenary I fought alongside. They were killed 10 years ago when Dagda was in conflict with the Empire. It's all I can focus on lately. To be honest, I blame you. I'm just teasing. I know it's not your fault. You just remind me of him. You give off a similar air. It's uncanny. You even have the same inflection, which makes no sense because we only ever spoke Dagdan. I don't know what it is, but you feel the same to me. I guess you just remind me of the past. That's fair. It's not your fault. It's my fault for getting caught up in memories. Still, you always remember your first love, right? That's enough of that. There are more relevant topics to discuss. Good question. The world is completely open to me. Your next move seems apparent. But who knows where I'll end up? Though I may have done enough traveling for one lifetime, I like the idea of having a permanent home. And after all my time here, I've grown quite fond of Fodlan.
Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Game Channel. My name is AJ Gales. How y'all doing? We are back with Fire Emblem 3 Houses. This is the Golden Deer playthrough, hashtag Fear the Deer. Holy crap, looks like this is going to be a month with no paralogs. I said this in the last video. The plan for this one, you've already seen half of it, which was the setup to this month, or the this month's main story or whatever. Other than that, we're going to just do this exploration and then hop right into a whole bunch of supports. So this video is going to mostly be supports, but I am going to go through the everything here at the monastery. I need somebody. Yeah. Trying to think who I want to send. You know what? You're up, Caspar. This is yours, man.
Who's next? Get in line.
And he's going to do 40 points of damage. Jesus H. Christ. Alright. Gotta make sure I'm at full health then. You couldn't help me get a crit there, Caspar? Really? You crit that time? You couldn't do that the first time? Alright. Again, I need to use my heal. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win this one. Well, maybe.
You're all going down.
I mean, it's possible if he can pull that off.
I'm not going down.
There you go, kid. Come on. We got one more fight. How much damage are they going to do? 23 damage. All right. Okay, so I need to basically win it. I need a crit here. Come on. Miss. Dodge. Something. All right, you made it to the final. Guess I got to say good work. You know what? I don't know why I just didn't do the smart thing here. Like, I always got one gauntlet and a big shield.
No chance.
You know, we can basically just do this and know he's just gonna absorb everything. I don't like to do this in my first try of these tournaments, though, because I feel it's a little cheap to just use your armor units.
Sorry it's gotta be like this.
Just because your heavy armor units most of the time are going to take no damage and, you know, can do enough to keep it interesting. Okay, so we got... Sorry, I'm doing math. We might be able to do this one as long as everything hits. Nope, we're done. Mostly because this is also going to take us out. Oh, alright, Caspar did better. Alright. That's enough goofing around.
Can't be serious. My relationship with the Boar Prince began even before I was born. He was always by my side. You might even say that, at one time, we were best friends. I couldn't fathom the depth of his hatred for the Empire. So much anguish. Could I have saved him? Could I have stopped him?
Yeah, those are good questions.
Fort Mercius is old and strong. Its reputation for durability is equal to that of Aryan Road. Are we really going to leave this to Claude, with a plan concocted by Hilda of all people?
Yeah, come on, have a little faith.
But I'm always troubled by how secretively that man devises his schemes. Let us hope the end result is not too outlandish.
Well, I mean, yeah, he comes up with weird schemes, but still, his schemes have a pretty good, have a pretty good rate of working. That sentence made no sense. I hope you can understand what I was trying to come up with in my head. Anyone else to talk to? Judith.
Professor, I have a question for you. Have you heard of the Death Knight? I'm referring to that Imperial general who has been operating under that moniker. Nothing is certain yet, but I get the feeling we'll have to face him soon enough.
Is that a little foreshadowing for an enemy that's going to be popping up this month?
So, you know, Professor, laying siege to a keep is like asking a girl out on a date. First, you get past her defenses, then you make your move.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know more about tactics than me, so...
He's not wrong. I mean, you can say he's a little, he's being a little gross, but I mean, he's not wrong.
I never used to care whether I lived or died, but after seeing so much death firsthand, I now realize how precious life truly is. I'm ashamed of how arrogant I was to think that death could mean so little.
Nah.
Professor, among our prisoners of war, there were quite a few people who served His Highness. One of them stated that the Empire was involved with the tragedy of Dusker. If this is true, His Highness's motives seem clear. I can't help but feel that perhaps I should have been fighting by his side. No, not anymore. I am where I belong. Those of us still on this plane of existence will carry the torch. The inhumane actions of the Empire must not be repeated.
Wow, I hardly recognize everyone. Their faces have changed so much. More experience in the eyes, and more pain. I'm glad that they're stronger, but I hate to think they've all become hardened killers. Look after them, okay? Try to keep them on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, well, I hate to tell you, Catherine, but we killed a lot of people back when we were students. You know, those battles and missions the church gave us. Yeah, we were killing a lot of people then, too. Let's just be entirely honest.
No sale. A class reunion on the battlefield? That's bleak. You gotta keep looking after them all. I mean...
Yeah.
Hey!
Just give me the mission. I'm kind of looking at it thinking this month might actually be pretty quick. Because like I said, we don't have any... we don't have any paralog battles to do, so pretty much next video should involve all the instructional periods, and I'll probably just do battles throughout the month and just do those off camera.
Claude takes care of the strategy, you direct the troops, and the rest of us focus on the fighting. As long as the system keeps working, we can win any battle, no matter the odds. That's what everyone's saying anyway. Hope you can keep up with our expectations, Professor.
Yeah, basically I'm just trying to say it's...
Some people claim they saw my father. They said he walked off the battlefield clutching His Highness's dead body. So long as Father's alive, I don't need anything else. I hope to see him again one day.
Alright, now if I can continue my thought. Yeah, I think this will be a pretty quick month all in all.
Dimitri, the late Prince of Fargus. He despised the Empire with all his heart. He should not have tried leading an army while his emotions were holding him captive. No. If a leader's emotions overcome them, others must step in to prevent poor decision-making. Why did his followers not intervene? His attendants. I used to call Edelgard my leader, and now she is running amok. I am duty-bound to stop her.
Well, I mean, you're wondering why Dedue isn't doing anything to... Didn't do anything to stop Dimitri. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, it's because Dedue, thinks of... I want to say things... I want to be kind and say he thought of Dimitri as his brother, but he really didn't.
I've heard Dedue's passed on, just like His Highness. You're right. I don't think anyone's found his body, so I guess he might still be out there. If somehow he's still alive, I hope we'll meet again.
I mean, what I'm trying to get at is, Dedue, really, if you go through a lot of his dialogue in this game, he didn't really think of Dimitri as his brother. He honestly thought of him as his lord, it's his job to die for him.
You work your muscles and they start screaming? That means you gotta be nice to them. If your muscles are hungry, you gotta feed them. And let them rest when they're tired. What do you mean, how? You just gotta eat and sleep. It's pretty obvious. What's with the confused face, Professor? You look like you don't get a word I'm saying.
Your wig still freaks me out. Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a sad dynamic they had. I mean, not really, because I mean, because Dedue also had moments where he really showed he kind of hated his position, but never showed that hate towards Dimitri. It's kind of weird.
Standing face to face with those whom I went to school with, on the field of battle. How inhuman war is. How horrifying. My heart feels shattered. It is my hope that this war marks the end of such foolish behavior.
Maybe it's because Dimitri never kind of saw Dedue as a servant or as an underling. Dimitri, if you play through the Blue Lion playthrough, go through the Blue Lion route.
Tactics. I enjoy attacks that are surprising.
Yes, hunting is doing surprise attacks on prey. Surprise attacks are safe with friends. Fewer injuries.
Yeah, you go through a lot of Dimitri's dialogue, and you especially see him during the Blue Lion route. You notice that he does think of Dedue as a brother, even though maybe it might not necessarily be reciprocated by Dedue. Yeah, it's a weird dynamic, but it's kind of heartwarming in a way.
Fort Mercius is next, huh? Ah, the memories. It's a huge stronghold in my father's domain. The town's completely surrounded by high walls. I used to run around there when I was a kid, way back when a fortress was just a playground for me. Yeah, those were the days.
There we go. We got up to B and axes. Ooh, it means I pick up Lancebreaker, and I should be able to use... trying to think here. I should be able to use... Come on, brain. Silver axes. There we go. Oops. Weird. Sorry, my controller's kind of sticking. It's weird. Alright, there we go. Huh, okay. Seems like problem solved. Bernadetta.
It's always so peaceful coming back here. But it's hard to relax knowing we have to go out on another expedition again so soon. And assaulting that huge keep. That sounds hard. Oh, really hard. Don't you think it'll be hard?
We'll be fine.
Of course you'd say that. Why'd I even ask?
Well, that's a very good question. Alright, where to go now? Let's go see the Dorothea and Mercedes up here in the chapel. Also see what... Lost my train of thought again. Shit. See how much renown we have.
Need something?
Yeah, a little over 2,000.
See you again soon.
I'll hold on to it for now, though.
Oh, Goddess, hear my prayer. Please bless the deceased with peace everlasting, and may his soul rest in tranquility. You know, I used to see him praying quite often when I would come to the cathedral at night. I wonder who it was
Yeah, it was probably his parents.
What?
And where are you, Dorothea? There you are.
So many people died in the battle at Gronder, and here we are, preparing for the next battle as if nothing happened the day before. It's almost easier to think about war as theater, with the stage an entire continent. Something like that. If an accident happens on stage, the next day's performance must be unaffected. Everyone just pretends like everything is fine, focusing on their role in the play.
I mean, I guess in a way you kind of have to compartmentalize, or else you'd kind of lose yourself a little bit. At least you'd think. I don't know. I've never been to war, so I can't say for certain.
Guess what I noticed? I can see further than most other people can see. But I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see. Yeah, I suppose it could be real useful for finding Lady Rhea. Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good.
I still hate you.
Fort Mercius is a keep that was constructed to defend the imperial capital, Enbar. We cannot enter the capital without first capturing that fort. But once we have it, the city should be almost entirely at our mercy. Whatever strategy you have in mind, I have faith that it will lead to victory.
Anyone on the third floor? Nope, okay.
Each step closer to Enbar, I'm reminded of another part of my past. Riches and poverty, glory and failure. That city has it all. And if I'm honest, sometimes I miss it. That's how the past works, though, isn't it? It's always a different story than what you really lived.
Fort Mercius is the Empire's single most fortified military installation. Utterly impregnable, they say. I wonder, do you happen to know the nickname given to Fort Mercius? Indeed, a very good answer. But of course, you'd know that. Seems Fodlands give everyone and everything a nickname. Why, you were called the Ashen Demon. Myself, I have been called the Father of Crestology, which is a nickname as well as a title, I suppose.
Alright, who else is left to talk to here? Still got all the... Jesus Christ, why is everyone up here?
The battle at Gronder Field was gruesome, wasn't it? But perhaps it's irresponsible to look away. To close our eyes to the horrors of war. Thank you. But I think I do, actually. As survivors, we must ensure that all these lives were not lost in vain. We must see the tragic foundations upon which we'll build our future. May an age of peace rise from the ashes, so that all this sacrifice means something.
As I suspected, they seem to be supporting the Imperial Army now, though I don't quite know who they are yet. Nor do I know what tricks they'll use against us next. We can't afford to let our guard down.
And Linhart... Thought I saw him over here. There he is.
There's word that Claude has developed a rather interesting stratagem to capture the fortress. You know Fort Mercius's nickname, I assume. The stubborn old general, but there must be one or two gaps in its defenses.
I mean, come on, if anyone's gonna find it, it's gonna be Claude, that crazy bastard. You know, which is why I'm thinking with everyone just wondering, oh, God, I hope Claude's gonna come up with something. He always does. Leave Claude to his schemes.
Quite a tactician. Disguising ourselves as enemy soldiers to sneak in undetected. A stroke of brilliance. With this strategy, we can really snatch victory from the jaws of deceit. Ah, rats. You've seen through my cunning punning.
Can we kick him out of the army? Tell him he has to go fight for the Empire.
Please tell Claude not to give us any more ridiculous orders. I've reached out through all of my channels, but there are limits to these things. I'll have to recruit an entire town's worth of people if I ever plan on making enough Imperial uniforms.
Oh, Claude.
Each time we take a step forward, more blood is spilled. But by spilling that blood, we're able to take yet another step forward. War is always a cruel affair. But luckily, we have each other to lean on. We've steeled our hearts. We won't be broken. I couldn't agree more. Without them, we could never have made it this far. Oh, and about taking the fort, I'll need a tad more time to prepare our plan. It's called an impregnable fortress for a reason, after all. My contingencies need contingencies this time, or we may not pull it off.
And last but not least...
We can get with this plan, dressing up like Imperial soldiers to sneak in. Claude said it could use some refinement. Any ideas?
Who dress you as the Emperor?
Claude dressed as a woman? I don't understand what the point of that would be.
Kicks?
On second thought, let's just stick to the plan as originally conceived.
I don't know, I think it would be funny. That's the entire reason to do it.
Thanks so much. You're a sweetheart.
There we go. All that's done. I think we've talked to everybody. All that's left is to go talk to the wolves.
Professor.
All right, where are they?
Professor,
It's not that I don't sympathize with Lady Edelgard's goals, mind you, but perhaps not to the point of shedding blood for her ideals. Of course, but I've gone down a different road. Peace in Fodlan and a restored House Nouvelle shall be my guiding star as I blaze my own trail.
I hear Hilda proposed a genius plan, that right? We've got a little strategist on our hands. Not too long ago, she was just a tiny girl who couldn't do a thing on her own. Now look at her. She's the fiercest of the fierce. I wonder what Holst would say if he saw her now. I bet he'd be proud. Just like me.
And then should be Happy and Yuri down in the classroom, or at least that's what I'm calling it.
If the Empire rallies its forces and attacks Garreg Mach, I'm not so sure Abyss will be okay. If we're not careful, it'll end up buried in rubble. Ever the valiant one. But nobody ever knows how a war will turn out. That's part of the deal, you know. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but I want to ensure there's still a refuge for people to escape to.
People have always fought, I guess. Bandits and nobles clashing over territory, things like that. So before the war, when folks talked about how peaceful everything was, I thought, what continent are you living on? I get it now. A few isolated skirmishes here and there are nothing compared to a full-blown war. The one truly peaceful place I've known was the village where I grew up.
Alright, looks like that's everything. Alright guys, you know what? I think I'm actually gonna call it here. I know, there wasn't really a lot to kind of comment and talk about throughout this one. It was a little boring. But like I said, this was mostly just a maintenance episode, just getting through the opening bit of this chapter mixed with just look at all these freaking supports. So I've got to go through all of these, and I've just been wanting to get them done for a long time now, so that's what we're going to do. I want to say, as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Social media is down in the description. Like, comment, not already. Please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned more next time. Till then, my name's AJ Gels. This is Something Like Game Channel. I'm out.
Impressive as ever. It's always satisfying to see such skill in motion.
It's nothing to boast about. Just part of the job.
Sure, but I hear there wasn't a knight out there who could match your skill at reconnaissance and infiltration missions.
Don't forget assassination and coercion. Is there someone you need killed?
Ooh, so violent. Why would you jump to that conclusion?
You went out of your way to find me. I thought you might need a favor.
Sorry to disappoint, but I didn't come to request an assassination. I just want to talk.
With me?
Of course. You've piqued my interest for a while now. A little birdie told me you were born in Dagda. Is that true? That's pretty far away, beyond even Bridget to the west. So, what brought you to Fodlan?
I worked as a mercenary in Dagda. That is until I was defeated in battle against the Empire and left for dead.
I see. I'm surprised they didn't take you as their prisoner.
I know how to conceal myself.
Yeah, of course you do. Still, with your particular skill set, couldn't you make your way back to Dagda whenever you please?
That is true. I could return if I really wanted, but my interests have changed. For now, this is where I belong.
Where you belong, huh? That's heavy stuff. I wonder if this is where I really belong.
I wouldn't know. You need to figure that out yourself.
So hungry. I gotta eat something.
Again, Raphael? Here, perhaps this will suffice.
Really? I can have this? But don't you need to eat after all that training?
We can't have you starving, can we? Your strength is a great asset. It would be a terrible loss if you fell faint in battle. Besides, no true noble can look upon the hungry with indifference.
Seriously? Wow, that's awful generous of you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. But listen while you eat. I believe it would benefit you to pay more attention to the way you carry yourself in the company of your betters. It is the duty of the nobility to protect the common folk. And, in return, the commoner is expected to show deference and respect. Naturally, I understand that there is a certain tendency toward familiarity because we are classmates. However,
Oh, that was tasty.
Raphael, did you hear a word I just said?
Oh, hey! I sent my little sis some of that fancy treat you gave me a while back. She wrote back to say that it was tasty and to thank you. So thanks.
That is excellent news. I'm pleased to hear that you both enjoyed it. But there's no need for you to thank me. It was actually a gesture of gratitude in the other direction, from me to you. Thanks to the wisdom of your words, I have begun to consider my approach to dining in a completely new way. Mealtime has proven to be ideal for the study of character. It is a tool I intend to make great use of as the leader of the Alliance.
Yep. It's just like I told you. Food tastes better when you eat with good company.
That's not quite what I meant. No matter. You are satisfied, I trust?
I could probably keep eating, but I'm ready to train. All right. Time to get back to it so I can protect my buddy Lawrence.
I've not quite gotten through to you, have I? It is not the duty of a commoner to protect a noble. That is fundamentally against the order of society.
But if you hadn't given me food just now, I couldn't have survived on the battlefield because I'd be too weak to train. Who'd take care of my little sis if I wasn't around? She'd probably end up starving to death as well. In a way, by feeding me, you're protecting her too.
It was only a little food. There's no need to get carried away.
You're a real decent noble, you know that? Worrying so much about my sister and all. All I gotta do is protect you, then you protect everyone else, right?
I'm not certain your logic is sound, but your strength is undeniable. Very well. Do as you like. Dining certainly is a window to the soul. Eating with you has helped me to see that I've misjudged you. You're not some gluttonous simpleton. You are grateful for the protection the nobility offers, and eager to emulate our example.
Hi, Lysithia! When are you gonna teach me magic? Is now good? Why do I have to? Why? Because you're way better at it than me, silly. Is that so? I thought you were something of an honor student at the School of Sorcery. Well, sure, but I wouldn't say I've got any kind of natural talent for it. I'm gonna have to try very hard to become as good of a mage as you are. What is that supposed to mean? Are you implying that I don't work hard too? If you think my skills are inherent, you are sorely mistaken. No, I wasn't saying that at all. Everyone knows how hard you work. I just meant that if I want to be as good as you, I'll have to work really incredibly hard. And what is it you want to learn about? Oh, so you'll teach me? Thank you so much! Actually... Oh, I get it now. I never thought about it that way before. Look at how quickly you're picking this up. You're clearly very skilled already. Don't be silly. You're just that good of a teacher. Your way of looking at the world is so fundamentally different from mine. Do you insist on taking the conversation in that direction? Oh no, I'm sorry. I wasn't doing that. There I go, saying the wrong thing again. It's fine. Let's just drop it. A bit more self-confidence would go a long way for you, Annette. Huh? That's all I've got for you today. I need to get going now. Lots to do. Oh, I'm so sorry to take up your time. Thanks again for teaching me. Hilda, I'm coming in. Hey, Annette. Don't mind the mess. Oh, wow. It really is messy. I'm not sure there's even enough room to breathe. I haven't been tidying lately. I start to procrastinate when I'm busy.
Oh. Hey, how about I clean up for you?
Really? That would be amazing. So are you good at cleaning?
I love it! Actually, the messier a room is, the more determined I get to conquer the crud.
Works for me. I'll leave you to it. Don't want to get in your way.
Great! See you later!
Annette? Oh no, my face!
Oh my goodness! I am so sorry! I'll clean it up right... Ah!
Not again!
There was a big bug! So big!
Oh no! Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no! Annette, do something! Wait! Not magic! I don't want you to burn my room down.
I'm so terribly sorry, Hilda. I wanted to clean up for you, but I basically did the opposite.
No kidding. I guess it was my fault for getting you to clean up my mess. At any rate, you've made such a mess of my mess. Now I feel motivated to clean my own room. So that's kind of a positive outcome.
I guess that's one way to think of it.
You know, I really do admire your can-do attitude. Although it might be, too much. You don't want to overextend yourself. For one thing, you'll tire yourself out. Based on what I just saw, you might even get hurt.
Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I've been like this my whole life. I've never wanted to let anyone down. My parents, my uncle. So I always try to give it my all. And it's taken me this far at least.
I guess so. But going all out to please others, never thinking of yourself, that's no way to live.
Ah, Marianne. Praying to the goddess?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. So persistent in your devotion. I quite admire that about you.
Oh, no. It's not like that.
No need for false modesty. I hardly know anyone with more piety.
I need to be going.
Wait a moment.
Oh, yes? Did you need something?
I have a suggestion. I have been meaning to tell you about it for a while. Have you ever considered projecting more confidence? Your every word is laden with pessimism and devoid of enthusiasm. To gain the trust of commoners, you must appear self-assured at all times.
I have no need to earn the trust of the common people as a noble. All I want is to live a quiet life and to not be a bother to anyone. I dare not hope for anything beyond that.
But you are the only daughter of the esteemed Margrave Edmund. Regardless of what you hope for, you must concede that you have inherited certain responsibilities by virtue of your birth.
If that's the case, then I don't care to be a responsible person. Farewell.
One would think she does not wish to be a noble.
Hilda, be a dear and spot me some gold, will ya?
Slow down, Balti. You can't be asking for money without so much as a hello. You're kidding, right?
Kidding, yeah. Thing is, I was deadly serious. I don't joke about matters of gold.
Your request is denied. You didn't used to be like this, you know.
I get the feeling you don't mean anything good by that. But come on, I'm the same as I ever was.
No, you used to be dependable. Like that time in the woods near Fodlan's throat. You remember?
Thinking. You sure that was me?
Yes. I had told Holst I wanted to go on a walk in the forest.
Holst never could tell you no.
Few can. Anyway, when the three of us got there, a horde of monsters appeared. I started wailing.
Then what happened?
My brother started hitting one of the beasts with a wooden sword. You hoisted me over your shoulder. Holst told you to get me to safety even if it killed you. So you ran the whole way from the forest to the estate with me on your back.
Ah, I remember it now. Toughest run of my life. I was so exhausted I threw up about a month's worth of lunches afterward.
And then you turned right around and started running back. You said, I've got to save Holst.
A good thing, too. Holst was moments from winding up in that thing's stomach. Had to slam into it, then Holst and I kept punching till the deed was done. Truly a fight to remember.
It was impressive, especially considering you were just teenagers. When you came back, you were just bruised boys in tattered clothes. But to me, you looked like heroes. And now, here you are, a scrounger who can hardly open his mouth without nagging me for money. What happened to that brave little boy who saved me from a monster?
Wow, way to shame a guy. I feel awful. But I still need gold. Can't live without it in this cruel world.
Oh, come on. We both know that when you have money, you drink or gamble it all away. But I suppose I could ask my brother to help pay off your debts, get you back on your feet.
Don't you dare speak to Holst about this. He's a close friend. I'd hate to ruin what we have by borrowing gold.
Oh, but you have no qualms about using his little sister? Figured I'd be an easy mark, is that it? Unbelievable.
That could have gone better.
That settles that. And don't even think about brawling around here again.
Impressive, Caspar. Well done.
Hey, Ferdinand, did you see that fight?
I saw it from start to finish. Both parties were at fault, disturbing the peace. Then you stepped in and corrected their behavior. You are setting a good example. I am proud to call you my fellow noble.
Your fellow noble? I wasn't even thinking about nobility. That had nothing to do with it.
Excuse me, nothing? Resolving conflicts among common folk is a duty of the nobles. Is that not what you were doing?
I guess so. But it was more like instinct or something. I saw people acting out of line and I had to step in.
Ah, you were acting on impulse. You might be better served following moral convictions rather than instincts. Take me, for example. I always bear in mind that I am a noble and behave accordingly. The fortunate must help the unfortunate. That is my guiding principle.
I never have any idea what you're talking about. If someone's in trouble, you gotta help them out. Simple as that.
A difference of opinion, you might say. Very well then. Believe what you will. I will not expend energy trying to change your mind.
Maybe all of this noble stuff just isn't for me. Hey! Don't walk away when I'm talking to you!
Hey Felix, you free? You don't look very busy. Let's go find some girls to chat with.
Chat with them by yourself. You're interrupting my training.
Hey, come on. Don't talk like that. How long have we known each other?
Long enough, if you ask me. We only know each other because of our parents' friendship. I didn't have a say in it.
Is that how it went? Huh. I remember it more like you always following me around. Whenever there was something wrong, like you lost to your brother, or you fought with Dimitri, you'd come crying to me. You were so meek and pure back then. Cute even. Like a baby brother.
That's enough.
What?
I said that's enough!
Hey, sorry. I just came to see if you wanted to pick up some girls. I didn't mean to get on your nerves.
Look, you've been getting on my nerves for years. I've tried to be patient with you, but I'm tired of holding my tongue. You're reckless in your personal affairs and in battle, and you're always prattling on about women.
Well, if a man sees a pretty girl, he can't just let her pass by without commenting. That's just rude.
You're insatiable. Do you ever stop? Certainly not to practice your sword technique. You always skip training. And you never consider how your actions hurt others, or how you hold them back.
That's never my intention. Come on. You know me better than that. I'm not really... Look, if that's the impression I've given you, then I'm sorry.
Today's dinner is steak and then a cake that's yummy yum. Now it's time to fill my tummy tummy tum. Oh, this mountain of sweets and treats that I long to eat. Oh, stacks of steaks and cakes and crumbs and yums.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Felix, you weren't listening, were you?
I heard enough to know that you're hungry.
No, I mean, well, yes. At least tell me you didn't see the dance.
You have nice footwork. Get something to eat. I can take over watering the plants.
You're evil, Felix!
And you're shouting.
You can't just spy on people while they're singing without even saying anything! It's not right!
I actually did call out that I was coming in. It's not my fault you didn't hear.
Well, you need to speak louder then! Ugh, this is so embarrassing. And of course I was singing some silly food song I made up. I should have been singing about bears or swamp beasties.
I didn't realize there were songs about bears and swamp beasties. That food song seemed to be close to your heart. Your stomach isn't far from your heart, after all.
Oh, you are the worst!
Huh. What was that about? I better water these plants. Wouldn't want them to get thirsty, or they might start singing too.
Felix, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. The War Council congregates soon. You better come.
Not sure why you need me. I don't know the first thing about strategy. Just how to use a sword.
Nonsense. You're going to be there.
Must I?
Why is this such a chore? You went last time. Though you did all you could to disrupt things, as I recall. Brazenly rambling on about clear-cutting a nearby forest to secure a marching route. And attacking an enemy base, stealing their horses. You were incredibly disruptive, and even rude.
I was offering my honest opinion.
Then, you left before we were finished. What do you suppose happened after that?
I have no idea.
Well, the conversation got quite lively. We all began breaking down the viability of your somewhat maniacal plan. And apparently, similar tactics have been used to turn the tides of historic battles.
That may be an exaggeration. Successful armies must be able to handle unexpected situations. That starts with weapon mastery and creative tactics.
If you didn't have so much battlefield experience, you wouldn't be capable of such unique strategies. Which is why we need people like you. People who think creatively to lead the army.
Now you're just massaging my ego.
When have you ever minded? We need you there. Just come on.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Ash, training again? You're taking this whole knight thing pretty seriously.
It's just my daily training. Maybe you could stand to be a little more eager yourself? If I want to be a great knight, I've got no choice but to put the effort in.
No choice? I think you're making life too difficult. Knights don't have to be perfect. All I'm saying is, I've seen some pretty sloppy knights out there.
That's not going to be me. I'm going to be a proud knight, virtuous and gallant.
Virtuous and gallant? Are you kidding me? If you just ride around being virtuous, people will get fed up. They'll boot you out of town.
It's never wrong to have virtue.
not even if it means being made an outcast.
Interesting idea. You think very highly of this whole virtue thing. Say, have there been any knights who became great just by thinking highly of themselves? Think on this. Knights are supposed to protect people and earn their admiration. Isn't that right?
Well, yes. So what are you saying I should do?
Seize people's hearts!
What do you mean?
You want people to love you? Offer them something they haven't got. Guess what that is? It's you, Ash. They don't have you. Get out there, buddy. Be valiant. Help people. Here, I'll show you how it works.
Sylvain, don't go bothering people.
Hey there, cutie. You seem to have lots of bags there. They must be heavy. My name's Sylvain. Let me help you out. Are these going in the warehouse?
Helping out those in need, guess that's a good start.
No thanks necessary. It's been enough just to be able to talk to you. Well, if you insist. How about we go get some tea? It must be fate that we met like this. I'd like to get to know you.
Great night, huh? More like a great philanderer. Seems like all he wants to do is flirt with women. No, I can't allow this. I have to stop him.
Oh no, this isn't right. Now what am I supposed to do?
What's the matter, Mercedes?
I accidentally made this food much sweeter than I wanted.
Let me taste it. Yeah, a little sweet. What if we try adding a few spices?
Huh? This is delicious! You're an amazing cook, Ash!
My dad used to own a restaurant. I helped out a lot around the kitchen, even as a little kid.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility to take on at an early age. No wonder you always work so hard. I might learn something if I watch you cook.
Well, no promises. I just have a little bit of experience, that's all. But look at you, you're great at baking cakes.
It's true that I'm quite good at baking, but I'm not the best when it comes to seasoning. Maybe it's because I don't like spicy food? It's tough to make food taste good when you don't enjoy it. I just had an idea. If the reason I can't cook spicy food is because I don't like it, then all I have to do is eat some spicy food. If I learn to like it, then I'll be better at making it, right?
I don't know, maybe. What makes you say that?
No, none of that matters. Once I've made a decision, I have to go with it. I'll make something spicy right away.
Oh, this won't end well. If I leave her to it, she'll make an even bigger mess.
Hey, Ash, which seasonings should I use? These ones?
Hold on, Mercedes. Let me show you. That one goes best with meat, but for stir-fry, what you really want is this.
Mercedes, I swear, the whole cathedral glows with heavenly light when you're around.
Hello, Sylvain. What a treat to see you here. I thought you preferred places with more ladies around.
I'm here because you're here. And I don't care about other girls.
Oh, come now. I'm sure you use that line all the time.
Actually, I've only said it to girls who thought I was lying about being You know what? There's no reason to get into all that. The truth is, I would really like to spend some time with you. What do you say to that?
Well, if you were really interested in me, I would want you to get to know me better.
I agree. I've been such an idiot in the past, always angling for the seduction. I've forgotten how to just talk to someone.
You act like you're full of regret, but I know you don't really mean it. Still, I'm glad to hear you say that at least. I told you such a boring story the last time we spoke. I was worried you might think I was a dull person.
Dull? No. I was worried that I'd made you remember unhappy times. It's horrible what you had to go through. It's not like anyone chooses to be born with a crest.
Right. We can't choose our bloodline. You've got a crest too, haven't you, Sylvain? What has your experience been like?
Are you asking how being born with a crest affected me?
Yes. I know there was that business with your brother Miklon, but I'm sure you don't want to talk about all that.
It's not a very happy story.
Please don't feel the need to hold back on my account. I'm here if you need someone to share in your pain.
Would you want to know more about me, even if I didn't have a crest, or come from a noble family?
This has nothing to do with your crest or family. I'm just asking as your friend. How should I put this? When I look at you, I don't see a crest. I want to see the real you.
You do? Here's the short version. I hate crests. Even though having one is supposed to be such a great blessing, mine has ruined everything. Miklon was heir to our house. Then I was born, and I became the heir because I had a crest. That made my older brother jealous enough to want to kill me. And every woman in Fodlan wants to have my little crest baby, so they can join the nobility. Yeah, there you go. That's what it's like to have a crest.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to dredge up such awful things.
No, I should keep my temper better. I don't want you to see me act that way.
Don't say that. I'm glad we were able to talk. I feel like I'm finally seeing the real you. Oh, Sylvain, will you save me from the curse of having a crest?
Of course. I think I love you. And I mean that. With all my heart. I love you, Mercedes. Let's get married and have crest babies.
Sure.
Oh, Ash. Are you here to study too?
I am. It's quiet here. Easier to concentrate.
It really is. Hey, would you like to study together? We can help each other out if we get stuck.
Oh, yes. We'll get a lot more done working together.
What's the matter, Ash?
This question's got me stumped. A ballista inside a castle is ready to fire at enemies outside. What angle should be used for the shot? Assume the ballista is the same as those in Garreg Mach. Ignore the effects of wind. This is for defensive strategy, isn't it? Why is it so complicated? Don't you just aim and fire?
It may help to focus on maximizing target accuracy to reduce your miss rate. This is important stuff. This math will be useful on the battlefield one day. To start, let's sort out the setup. Let's see. Using these ballista specifications, if the ballista corals follow this trajectory, they'll hit the enemy lines, right?
Oh, that makes sense, because the enemy line will be here.
That's it! Okay, now try using that same technique and applying it to this other problem.
If the walls are this high and the enemy lines are at that distance... Oh, I think I see!
I knew you'd get it.
Wow, I didn't expect math of all things to be useful in a siege. This is tough. Numbers are not my strong suit. But this really is the sort of thing you have to know if you want to command troops.
That's true, but not everyone is good with numbers. That's why we have tacticians do these calculations for us, or prepare them before we go to battle. A century ago, the Empire's mathematicians played a huge role in the Battle of the Wall of Fodlan.
I had no idea. Hey, you really know what you're doing, Annette.
You think so?
Definitely. You've obviously done a lot of studying. I really admire that.
I suppose I have. Studying is a necessity if you want the advantage over your enemies. But necessity aside, it's nice to hear you say that.
Hi there, Ash. Here to do some reading as well, I take it? Ash?
Huh, Ingrid! You gave me a start. How long have you been standing there?
Not too long. Apologies for startling you. Must be a great book for you to be so deeply engrossed in it. What has you so captivated?
Oh, it's quite an old book. one of the really old legends of Fargus.
Aha! It must be the Sword of Kaifon then, yes?
Oh, so you know it.
Oh yes, I know it quite well. I read it often as a child. In fact, I read it so much that my personal copy fell apart. I brought it everywhere with me. I adore that book. The tale of the warrior Kaifon, whose devotion and loyalty enabled his best friend Lug to become king. He went to great lengths to see things through.
Exactly! I love the image of him charging forward into the fray, ready to take on any obstacle in the name of his king.
Indeed, he was the very picture of the perfect knight. In my opinion, the best chapter is right around the middle of the book.
Ah, the part about the war of the eagle and lion? That's my favorite part! In a flash, Kaifon's sword flew from its scabbard. The knight parried the assassin's blade mere inches from the spine of his king.
Kaifon's blade hummed like the wind, slashing the enemy's throat. In mere moments, their forces lay vanquished, decimated by his mighty blows. I can recite the entirety of it if you like. I never grow weary of that tale, the pinnacle of knighthood, with all its struggles and glory.
I know just what you mean. I never get tired of it. Some people laugh at me for reading these old tales, but I'll never outgrow them. I'm glad to find someone who shares my enthusiasm.
I'm glad of it as well. Tell me, what other books do you enjoy, Ash?
Well, the first one I ever read was Lug and the Maiden of Wind.
You have fantastic taste. That story is another favorite. The final chapter makes me tear up every time.
I know. When I first read it, I just couldn't get that ending out of my head.
It seems we have much in common. I look forward to chatting again sometime.
I'd love to. Yes, let's.
Hey, Annette. Hitting the magic books again? Has anyone ever told you that you're pretty cute when you're studying?
Sorry, Sylvain, but I'm trying to think right now. Could you keep quiet for a bit?
How can you stay focused reading a book that thick? With such small print? Is some of that text upside down?
If I use the formula in this line here, the magical energy should... No, that's not right.
You're even cuter when you're working through a difficult problem.
Sylvain, I'm serious. Please be quiet.
Hang on. Look at the third line. You've got the formula wrong.
I said the... Oh, you're right. How did you know that?
Well, I mean, it's written right there.
Most people wouldn't be able to grasp this formula just by glancing at it. Have you read this book before?
Nope, this is the first time. Okay, now that I look at it... Wow, this book makes things way more complicated than they need to be.
And what's your take on this part here?
It's just describing another application for the same formula. Ha! This is pretty easy.
You know, you're actually kind of amazing. I've been studying magic for a while now, but even I have trouble with this stuff. You act like all you do is mess around, but are you actually working really hard in secret?
Nah, hanging out with girls is way more fun. I guess I just picked this stuff up somewhere. Life is short, Annette. If you waste it working hard, it'll be over before you know it. Get out in the world. Have some fun.
That's easy for you to say. You're strong and smart without even trying. It's not fair. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude.
No, I was just thinking you're pretty cute when you're sulking. You know that?
What is wrong with you?
Hey, I just got lucky with that stuff in the book. I'd normally never be able to outsmart you. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here and leave you to it.
Got lucky, huh? I'm not so sure about that. Well, that does it. It might be tough, but I won't accept second place. Let's go, me. I can do this. I'm gonna finish this whole book before sundown. Whew. That shopping trip took longer than expected, didn't it, Mercy?
It truly did. You bought just about everything in the place.
You're so good at deciding the best thing to buy. I sort of wanted it all. I mean, not that I was excessive. I think you bought just about as much as I did.
Oh, really? The number of bags you're carrying says otherwise.
What? That's... Oh, fine. You got me. I was just having too much fun. I love shopping with you, Mercy.
It was fun. It's nice going into town without having to run errands for once.
Isn't it? And I'm pretty confident the professor will forgive our little detour. This actually reminds me of going to school in Ferdiad.
Me too. It almost feels like that time in our lives was a story from long ago.
So much has changed since then. Oh, but there's at least one thing that hasn't changed.
Me and you, right? We're the same old friends we always were.
That's just what I was about to say.
I've known you so long I can always guess.
Mercy, we'll stay friends like this forever, won't we?
Is something wrong? You sound worried.
Since our time in the capital, so much has happened. We've had to make new lives for ourselves, and we've seen at least as many hard times as good. If things keep changing like this, I wonder if we'll be able to stay the same people we are now.
I wonder that too. I don't think everything in the future will be perfect, but it's us. So I'm sure
we'll figure it out together, right?
How did you know what I was going to say?
Oh, Mercy, I can always guess what you're gonna say.
Oh, it's getting late. We better hurry back before the professor gets angry.
You're right. Run, Mercy!
What? Wait for me, Annie. You know I'm not as fast as you.
Run!
Am I in bed dreaming, or is that you, Mercedes? How serendipitous it is to see you again!
Yes, and here we are. You were so small when I saw you last. How you've grown.
I cannot express how worried I was to hear that you had left House Bartels. I was turned away any time I asked about you, and of course Emile would never tell me anything.
I'm sorry. There was so much going on in House Bartels back then. But enough about all that. How are you, Constance? I hear you've had hardships of your own.
Indeed. House Nouvelle is no more, and I went alone to the School of Sorcery.
Oh, you went to the Royal School of Sorcery? Just before I began at the Officers' Academy, I was studying there as well.
You were? It must have been after my graduation in 1177.
That was the year I enrolled. We probably just missed each other.
No! You mean to say that if I had stayed a trifle longer, we could have been reunited sooner?
It seems so. Ah, dear Constance. When we were little, I thought of you as my little sister. But now that you've grown up, I think our roles might be reversed. I'll be looking up to you now, and maybe even asking for your help sometimes.
You'd ask for my help? I never thought I'd see the day.
And yet you're seeing it. You know, I had another friend at the school. Her name is Annie. Why don't we all have some tea together? I'm sure you two would really hit it off.
You must mean Annette. Yes, I would welcome the chance to have a long chat with her. I'll prepare the tea straight away.
Oh, no need to rush. The tea isn't going anywhere.
Don't be ridiculous. Time is always of the essence. Why put off for later when I could?
Constance, I wonder what's the matter. Did something happen?
Mercedes, sharing your precious time with me is perhaps more than I deserve.
What do you mean?
Why sit with me when you could share your tea time with someone else? I shall instead stand and serve the tea, though if my presence still proves to be a burden.
Goodness, of course it isn't. Are you feeling all right?
My feelings are immaterial. Pardon me while I fetch the tea leaves at once.
Until a moment ago, everything seemed all right.
Why did she change so suddenly? I'll have to ask her what's going on.
That was quite a sigh. What's wrong, Ingrid?
Tell me, Sylvain, what am I to you?
You're my friend. One of my oldest, in fact.
An old friend, is it? Then why must I clean up the casualties left behind by your skirt chasing?
Nobody asked you to do that. Heck, I thought you enjoyed it. Besides, you're real good at it. I'm excited to continue working with you.
Do you mean to imply you have no intention of acting a bit more respectably?
Please don't yell like that. Everybody's staring at us.
When you were 8, you came on to my sweet, sweet granny. My granny!
Come on. I was 8 and she was That was a long time ago.
Sylvain hit on Ingrid's grandmother? Wow.
People can hear you. Please be quiet.
When you were 10, we went to that harvest festival, and you started making eyes at a scarecrow.
A scarecrow?
Wait a second. That was just an accident. A tragic, tragic accident.
When you were 15, you sought, relentlessly might I add, to involve yourself with Lord Gwendol's daughter. Who do you suppose made peace with the furious lord despite having nothing to do with it? Me. Always me, always for you. Every time.
What a jerk.
You know what? This conversation is over. I'm done.
My point is that this has to end. Not later, but now.
Fine. I promise I'll try to change. Are you happy now?
Yuri! Halt! How dare you make me run all over the monastery?
Calm down. That was all on you, Shady Lady.
Shady? You know full well I'm sensitive about that. It's as though you wish to be incinerated. What I mean to say is, all shall be forgiven when you do my bidding. I know. It's an honor I don't extend to many. You have the rare opportunity to aid me in realizing my dream. I shall rebuild House Nouvelle. Nobility will be mine again, and the glory of my esteemed family will once more reign supreme.
Blah, blah, blah. Restore House Nouvelle. Blah, blah, blah. Will you just stop? You're making my ears hurt. I am but an insignificant and beautiful creature. Surely there's nothing I have to offer for your plight.
Your facade does not fool me. I know you for what you truly are. With the nobility's backing, Western Fodlan's underworld is yours. Everyone has heard whispers of the savage mockingbird. That is you they refer to, yes? Your time would be better spent laying the groundwork for me to reclaim my title. I envision you using your connections to apply pressure on the nobles in Enbar.
Right. So say I indulge you, that I agree on this killer bird you speak of. What I offer comes at a high price. You do understand that, right, milady? How exactly do you intend to compensate me?
But what greater compensation could I offer than to play a part in restoring House Nouvelle?
Restoration of houses does nothing to put food in my stomach.
I suppose, but rest assured that upon my return to power, you shall be suitably rewarded.
Let me cut through the mud here. You're broke, and you'll pay me after you get what you want. Wow. I love how irresponsible you are. Refreshing.
Then what would you have me do? I have nothing to bargain with now. No status, no wealth.
Perhaps rather than turning to a killer bird for help, you should be bound before the nobles or some such. Get down on all fours and lick their boots. See what that'll get you. Perhaps you're too prim and proper for that.
Lick their boots? Is tonguing their footwear likely to sway them to my cause?
My work here is done.
No, I was not through with you yet. You come back here! Hey!
Why did you bring me here? It's so isolated.
That would be the point.
Yikes. See you around, B.
Hang on a second. Out here, in a place like this, you should be free to sigh, yeah?
What do you mean by that?
I just thought it would do you well to cut loose and sigh to your heart's content.
Really? You found a nice quiet place where you could annoy me without putting bystanders at risk?
Why does this always happen? That's not what I meant. This is me doing something nice for you. You said before that you can't ever relax because you're worried about endangering others. A lot's been going on recently, so let her rip already. Sigh until you can sigh no more.
That's nice of you. A chance to relax and sigh as I please. Sounds good. But what do we do about the monsters?
What do you think? A monster shows up, I punch it in the nose. Done deal.
By yourself?
I'm never alone, pal. These two fists are always by my side, and they never let me down.
Oh, right.
It doesn't have to be here if you have performance anxiety, but anytime you accidentally call a monster, just holler and I'll punch it to next Tuesday. In fact, maybe it's best if you just stick by my side from now on. Do that and you're free to sigh whenever the urge strikes.
Why would I have to stay by your side?
Not a lot of people in this world can knock out a beast without breaking a sweat. I'm one of them. And since I'm always on the run from bounty hunters, I'm an exceptionally light sleeper.
You expect me to sleep by your side too?
Ooh, this may be my best idea yet. If I'm always with a monster summoner, fewer people will come after my bounty. This is brilliant.
You never change, B. You're so predictable. All right, have fun.
Have fun? That's an odd thing to do. Monsters, they're everywhere. This is gonna be a blast.
It's hard not to like that dummy.
Hey, Loco, how are you? Happy! What in the world has gotten into you?
You don't need to be jealous. There's plenty more room.
Happy, it would be easier to understand you if your mouth was less stuffed. Kindly finish what you are eating and then say your piece.
My pleasure.
Nothing better than fresh pastries. You sure you don't want one, Coco?
It's not about whether I want a bun or not. It's about your atrocious manners. Walking around with your arms and jaws stuffed full of unwrapped pastries? There are crumbs all over your lips, your clothes. You've left a trail of them behind you. Unacceptable!
Hey, I paid for them. I can eat them however I want. You sure you don't want a bite? If you don't have any, I'm just gonna eat them all. You have to try them fresh out of the oven if you want the full effect. Pretty soon they'll get cold. Oh, I'll explain in noble speak so you understand. They have a crisp, oven-browned exterior and a sophisticated, spongy sweetness lying within. Not interested? That's fine. More for me.
I was going to say, not so fast. Spare one for me, but only because you insisted. It would be rude of me to decline an offering made in good faith. One must mind one's manners.
You're really dragging this out. Here, I'll make it easy for you. Open up.
Wait, don't you...
Not bad, right?
I could not, in good conscience, acknowledge this as anything but delicious.
Now you have crumbs all over you, too. Your form could use a little work. Next time, stuff the whole thing in your mouth at once. That's the proper way to eat a snack like this. If you ate this at some stuffy party, cutting it into sensible little bites, the experience would be ruined.
I see your point. There are more types of dining in this world than I was ready to allow for. You've won me over.
Let's eat them while we head to the cathedral and litter the ground with crumbs.
A capital idea! Wait, no! At the cathedral? You've lost me again, Happy.